And the Prophet's words, when they're narrated to us generation after generation, they are still the words of Allah. Okay? People will proudly say that Shakespeare said to be or not to be. They'll say, yeah, this is Shakespeare. This is Shakespeare. Even though people say that he plagiarized this and plagiarized that, and there are no manuscripts of Shakespeare from his time, it's only for a few generations afterwards, and that's changed and distorted, and it's an adaptation and so on. But they still accept, it's not Shafi, Shakespeare's words, Sheikh Zubair's words. Okay? They said that Sheikh Zubair was the real name of Shakespeare. It's not the case, but anyway. But Shakespeare, I heard that he was a cross-dresser as well. No way this man is Sheikh Zubair. Okay? This is, people will accept that these are his words because it's being transmitted after a few hundred years. They still say, yeah, we know what Shakespeare said, we know what this person said, we know what Socrates said, and Plato said. It's his words, Plato's words. They'll be brave to say these things, but when it comes to the Messenger of Allah, say, I don't know, all these hadiths, maybe they made them up. What are you talking about? There's nobody in this earth whose words are more preserved than the words of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. More meticulously, carefully scrutinized by scholars, generation after generation. Then nobody did that groundwork for any other person on the earth. When you look at history, the study of history, most of it is guesswork. They'll pick up a bit of pottery they found in the field somewhere in Salisbury, and they say, oh, this piece of pottery, we think we reconstructed it using AI, and it looked like this. Okay, you just guess that. You don't know what it looked like. And we say that it's from this century. And I think the words here, and they tell a whole story. It was a king and he had princes. You make all pieces of pottery. I understand it's a nice story, but it's guesswork. It's not, facts. Okay, you haven't verified anything. You haven't investigated anything. You're just accepting whatever you find and trying to piece together a puzzle. Where you have the Prophet ﷺ, his life and biography and the companions compiled exactly the things that he said. Obviously not every second of his life, but many, many, many thousands of narrations, and repeated through multiple chains, multiple companions, all comparing the same thing. I'm doing some research for something else, just some academic research at the moment to write a paper about some current affairs, and it's just about certain incidents that happened in war in the last few years. Right? And we interview certain people, eyewitnesses. We interview 2 or 3 or 4, honestly, just interviewing 3 or 4 people, and they all independently saw the same thing. They don't know each other, they were in different parts of the country, they happened to end up in the same place, and they saw the same thing, they tell us the same thing. That is called Tawatur. This is called Mutawatir. And honestly, as a researcher, you see, look, nobody could tell me this is not true. Some newspaper comes along and says, oh no, it's not true, that's not what happened. But I've spoken to the eyewitnesses, and not just one, not just 2, not just 3. There's no way they are colluding together, never met each other. This one's in this country, that one's in that country, this one's in another country. This is how the Sahaba narrated the Sunnah. There's no way for us to really doubt some of the most authentic. Yes, there are weak hadith, but the most authenticated hadith, there's no way for it to be falsified or fake. It's just impossible. And there is nothing else on this earth. There is no other book or no other biography or life or person's speech that is preserved in the same way. So when we hear his call, what this verse says, وَلَا تَوَلَّوْا عَنْهُ وَأَنْتُمْ تَسْمَعُونَ. Don't turn away from the messenger's speech when you can hear his speech. So when his speech reaches you, Allah is saying, oh, you who believe, obey Allah and the messenger and don't turn away from that speech. Okay? So this is that verse, inshallah, Surah Anfal, verse 20.